The film opens with a quiet office late at night. In the middle of the nearly empty workspace, a woman named Jennifer is still busy finishing her work, appearing to be the only employee who's not yet left the building. The other employees have already gone home to prepare for the upcoming Valentine's holiday, and with the next 3 days being a long holiday stretch, the office feels even more deserted, emphasizing that Jennifer is completely alone that night. After finishing her work, Jennifer does not immediately go home, but instead sends an email to her ex-fiancé in New York, saying that she plans to book a plane ticket and leave that very night to meet him, hoping they can repair their broken relationship. After sending the email, not wanting to miss her flight, Jennifer hurriedly leaves and grabs some candies from a desk. At the same time, in the same building, specifically in the restroom, there is a man named Guy who also works in the office. They end up waiting for the elevator at different floors, with Jennifer getting in on the 49th floor and Guy joining her on the 42nd floor.
Thanks. Sorry, thank you very much.
At that point, there are no other employees left in the building besides the two of them, and an awkward atmosphere fills the elevator. Guy tries to start a conversation and cracks a few jokes, but Jennifer, who does not seem to know him, mostly stays quiet and responds briefly. Guy continues trying to break the ice by making small talk and pointing out a scribbled drawing on the wall, when suddenly the elevator comes to an abrupt stop.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit it.
Shocked, they both press the buttons repeatedly, but none of the control panel buttons work, even though the lights inside the elevator are still on. Guy then tries to force the doors open with all his strength, but fails. He waves at the CCTV camera, hoping someone in the control room will see them, but again, there is no response. The situation worsens when they try to use their phones and realize there is no signal, since they are 4 floors underground. Confused and anxious, Jennifer asks Guy why there is no security staff on duty that night, worrying that she will miss her flight if she cannot get out of the elevator soon.
They're not doing anything. Hello?
We're in here.
I mean, maybe we just wait a minute or two and I'm sure someone...
We got 0 bars.
15 minutes later, they try shouting for help and banging on the elevator doors, but no one hears them. Guy then comes up with another idea, thinking there might be an emergency exit on top of the elevator. Because the ceiling is too high, he asks Jennifer to stand on his shoulders. Though awkward at first, Jennifer reluctantly climbs onto Guy's shoulders to reach the ceiling, but while feeling around, she accidentally hits a metal plate hard and injures her hand.
Ow!
What, you okay?
Yeah.
Guy helps her down and realizes the idea cannot continue. After several hours pass, Jennifer becomes pessimistic and accepts that it is too late to catch her flight. Feeling sorry for her, Guy tries to cheer her up with jokes, and noticing his effort and care, Jennifer finally opens up and properly introduces herself to him.
Guy.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm Jennifer, by the way. Just a sip.
4 hours later, Jennifer suddenly feels a strong urge to urinate, but out of embarrassment, she desperately tries to hold it in. Guy notices her discomfort and suggests she relieve herself in a corner while he covers her with his jacket, but Jennifer refuses, not wanting to dirty the elevator. Thinking quickly, Guy offers his thermos bottle for her to use and promises to turn around and close his eyes so Jennifer can do it in privacy.
It's okay. I promise. I don't mind.
Well, that just happened.
Sometime later, as Jennifer grows closer to Guy, she deliberately steers the conversation toward topics related to romance. Jennifer asks Guy what the dirtiest place is where he has ever had sex in his life. Guy looks embarrassed and asks Jennifer to share her story first. Smiling, Jennifer says that she once made love in a library with one of her ex-boyfriends during her college years. When it is Guy's turn, he says that he once met a girl at a beach, drank until they were drunk, and then had sex with her in a car while it was still moving. Eventually, Guy admits that the conversation is starting to arouse him and asks to stop the discussion, apologizing to Jennifer for crossing a line. However, Jennifer is feeling the same way and remains silent as Guy walks closer to her, and soon they end up making love. Afterward, Guy confesses that he has started to fall in love with Jennifer. Hearing this, Jennifer immediately pulls away from him and says that she truly loves her ex and only wants to reunite with him, explaining that what they just did should be considered nothing more than a momentary release. Unbeknownst to her, those words deeply hurt Guy. He tells Jennifer that she should end her relationship with her ex because he believes he is more deserving of her. Jennifer becomes irritated by this, as she genuinely loves her former fiancé, and she adds that once they manage to get out of the elevator, they should act as if nothing ever happened and return to their normal lives without involving emotions. Moments after Jennifer says this, Guy's previously humorous and caring demeanor suddenly changes as he reveals who he really is. He admits that he lied to Jennifer, explaining that he is not a high-ranking employee at the company but merely a security guard assigned to the building. Guy then takes out his phone and shows CCTV recordings of Jennifer's daily activities, even footage of her waiting in front of the elevator after work.
7, sometimes. Huh. Because
Jennifer is shocked and finds it hard to believe his confession. Guy continues by saying that he has worked in the building for a long time, but no one ever cared about him because of his social status as just a security guard. He cannot understand how Jennifer could still love and want to return to her ex when Guy believes he knows her better than anyone else. Guy then reveals that getting trapped in the elevator was not a coincidence, but something he had planned long ago. He pulls out an elevator key and demonstrates it by opening the door he had intentionally locked. At that point, Jennifer, unable to tolerate his disturbing obsession any longer, threatens to report him to the police and have him rot in prison. After saying this, Jennifer tries to snatch the key from Guy's hand and a physical struggle breaks out between them. However, when Jennifer manages to snatch the key, she accidentally damages the elevator's control panel. Afraid of being trapped inside the elevator with Guy and enraged, Jennifer begins striking him repeatedly. Guy collapses onto the floor, covered in blood, which immediately terrifies Jennifer, making her believe that he is dead. She approaches him and tries to check his condition, but suddenly Guy regains consciousness and attacks Jennifer. Sometime later, Jennifer wakes up from having fainted and sees that Guy has already regained consciousness before her. Her fear intensifies when Guy opens the gift box Jennifer had prepared for her ex, revealing a shirt inside. Guy brazenly puts on the shirt and orders Jennifer to open the remaining gift box. Helpless, Jennifer complies and opens the second box, which contains a cigar, along with a cigar cutter and a lighter. Guy lights the cigar while mocking Jennifer and sarcastically wishing her a happy Valentine's Day.
it's like you're sucking on a big smoking dick, right?
Happy fucking Valentine's Day, Jen.
A moment later, Guy suddenly apologizes to Jennifer for frightening her and says that he wants to make peace with her. Jennifer remains silent and does not respond. She then sees that Guy appears to realize his mistakes and tries to get them out of the elevator. Since the elevator doors are broken and unusable, he asks Jennifer to lift him so he can reach the emergency exit on the ceiling. Jennifer argues that it would be easier if Guy pushes her instead, as she is not strong enough to lift him. Jennifer then climbs onto Guy's shoulders and successfully gets out of the elevator. Guy tells her where the stairs are and where the emergency exit is located. After understanding the layout, Jennifer raises her middle finger at Guy in a mocking gesture, as if ridiculing him for being deceived, which instantly fills Guy with anger and frustration at his own foolishness. He ties two pieces of clothing together and throws them up through the ceiling opening, allowing him to climb out and chase Jennifer, who is moving toward the emergency exit.
Hey, Jen!
When Jennifer finally opens the emergency door, she shouts for help, hoping someone will hear her, but suddenly Guy grabs her body, causing both of them to fall.
Because now, you're gonna die.
When Jennifer regains consciousness first, she notices a sprinkler or smoke detector above them and lights the cigar, intending to trigger the automatic alarm once the smoke is detected. Unfortunately, her attempt fails because the smoke from the cigar is not thick enough. Jennifer then tries burning paper to create more smoke, but Guy regains consciousness. Seeing this, Jennifer does not hesitate and starts hitting Guy again, managing to tie his hands with a piece of cloth. Guy warns her that the fire alarm will not activate and that it would only soak them with water and risk electrocution. Jennifer threatens to hurt Guy and force him to confess everything he has done to her. A short while later, Jennifer turns on her camera to document evidence of what has happened. She points the camera at Guy and begins asking for his true identity. Under pressure, he finally admits that his real name is John Deakins, revealing that Guy is not his real name. With the camera still recording, Jennifer forces John to confess all his actions and explain the series of plans he had carefully arranged.
Yes.
Use my key to stop.
Yes, I trapped you.
So you kidnapped me, right?
Yes.
I hit your head on the ground.
John Deakins, EVP at Finnegan's. That's why you've never heard.
Time passes, and before they realize it, Monday arrives, yet they are still trapped without any help. That night, a security guard named Eddie, who is John's co-worker, coincidentally visits the office with his girlfriend. He finds it strange that John is not present, even though he is supposed to be on duty. Eddie checks the CCTV monitors and is shocked to see John and Jennifer lying inside the elevator. Instinctively, Eddie uses the building-wide microphone system to call out to them, which wakes Jennifer, and she begs Eddie to get her out of the elevator. Without hesitation, Eddie rushes to the elevator, leaving his sleeping girlfriend on the sofa. Once outside the elevator, Eddie tries to force the doors open using a crowbar. Jennifer, desperate to escape, tries to lift her head out through the opening, but Eddie tells her to stay inside so he can open the doors completely. Suddenly, John knocks Jennifer down without Eddie noticing, and then shouts for Eddie to help him. Confused and unaware of what is really happening, Eddie climbs up to help his co-worker. At the moment Eddie is halfway into the elevator, John moves the elevator, crushing Eddie's body and killing him instantly. John then drags Jennifer to his car and locks her in the trunk. He returns to the building to dispose of Eddie's body, along with his clothes. After eliminating all traces of Eddie, John cleans himself, puts on his uniform, and slips the cigar into his pocket. He walks into the reception area and deletes all the CCTV footage to erase evidence of his crimes. As he is about to leave, John notices Eddie's girlfriend has woken up, and he kills her as well, throwing her body into the same elevator shaft as Eddie. Once John believes the office is completely secure and free of evidence, he gets into his car and drives Jennifer to a remote location to dispose of her. He takes a gasoline can and pours fuel over a trash container he plans to use to burn Jennifer. Before opening the trunk, John tells Jennifer that he truly loves her and always will, but they can never be together. When he opens the trunk and sees Jennifer motionless, he assumes she is dead, not realizing she is only pretending. John turns back toward the trash container to light the fire, but Jennifer slowly emerges from the trunk and strikes John's head with the gasoline can. Jennifer then gets into the car and notices the cigar inside. She reverses the car and violently slams into John, sending his body flying into the trash container soaked with gasoline. Without hesitation, Jennifer takes the cigar and lighter and throws them into the container, burning John alive and killing him, bringing the story to an end.